Let's face it, we all have taken for granted what this earth gives us. Most of us don't give a second thought to what we take from our earth or what we pollute it with. We all need to step back and really think about what we are doing to our environment. Not only that, we need to visualize what our earth is going to look like if we don't change. Piles of trash, rivers, lakes, and ponds full of pollution and less fish to eat. Smog so thick it's hard to breathe because there are not enough plants and trees to clear the air. Less and less non renewable energy to heat with or drive our vehicles to get to work. That doesn't sound like a place I'd like to live or for my children to live. But we can take a stand. We can come together and make change happen. Educating your community about the repercussions of the actions is important. Setting up a town meeting is a start to educating the community. Gathering data specific to your community about the quality of air and the quality of water, showing the increase in pollution is sure to open some eyes. Educating people on the importance of different modes of transportation instead of driving because of the emissions our vehicles give off. It's contributing to ruining our ozone layer and polluting the air we breathe. Teaching that as individuals, we can live a more sustainable life by changing just a few things we do. Having an energy audit done to your home can be beneficial to living a more sustainable life. Someone will come to your home and inspect it to see how well insulated the doors and windows are. If your doors and your windows aren't sealed properly, it causes a person to have their heat or air conditioner turned up higher, which causes more energy use. Older furnaces, wiring, and using old-style lighting also contributes to energy usage. Now let's talk about water. Being aware of your water usage is going to hopefully open people's minds as to how much water is actually being wasted. There is only 2.5% of fresh water that is drinkable on this earth. That's a very small amount. So being wasteful with such a precious commodity is not ideal. Using water efficient appliances such as dishwashers and washers will help. Being aware of your shower time will also help. Collecting rainwater to water the garden will not only save your water bill, but will help reduce the waste of water. Speaking of gardens, buying foods from a local farmer's market helps toward living a more sustainable life. Not only does this help local farmers profit, but it cuts back on the emissions from shipping foods. Talking about emissions, walking to the farmer's market or riding a bike is much better than driving. Not only is it healthy for you, but it's healthier for the environment. Every time we get in our vehicle and drive, we're polluting the air from the emissions that our car is giving off, not to mention burning fossil fuels, the non-renewable ones. One other thing I want to discuss about living a more sustainable life is recycling. Now, this is so important because recycling reduces the amount of trash in the environment. It cuts back on people burning trash, which puts pollutants into the air, but also teaches not to be wasteful. If something can be used, reused, or made into something new, why not? Now, I'm only covered 5 ways to help live a more sustainable life out of 100 different ways as a person. But now let's imagine that everyone in this community did all of those things. We would have a more sustainable community. Creating a more sustainable community can be a difficult challenge, but is reachable. I want to live in a community that cares about their footprints that they make on this earth, where water and energy usage is monitored closely, and where people are mindful of the trash they produce. I see a more sustainable community where everyone recycles, collects rainwater, uses different modes of transportation that doesn't pollute our air, and even uses even uses renewable energy sources. A community that helps local farmers by buying from farmers markets. A community garden where everybody would benefit from it, from the food it would produce to the cleaner air from the plants. A community that has a green team to put into action everything I've talked about and more. That's what I envision a more sustainable community should look like. Now let's face it, we all take for granted what this earth gives us. Let's take a stand, let's give back to earth, come together, and make change happen.